Hello, we are on the Real Programming channel. My name is Andrei. This is our 25th lesson. I greet you. We will talk about 5 chapter adding images to your pages needing the media. Let's go. Smile and say cheese. Actually, smile and say GIF, JPEG or PNG. These are going to be your choices when developing pictures for the web. In this chapter, you are going to learn all about adding your first media type to your pages. Images, got some digital photos you need to get online. No problem. Got a log you need to get on your page. Got it covered. But before we got into all that, don't you still need to be formally introduced to the image element? So sorry, we weren't being rude. We just never saw the right opening. To make up for it, there's an entire chapter devoted to image. By the end of the chapter, you're going to know all the ins and outs of how to use the image element and its attributes. You're also going to see exactly how this little element causes the browser to do extra work to retrieve and to display your image. How the browser works with images. Browsers handle image elements a little differently than other elements. Take an element like an H1 or a P. When the browser sees the text in a page, all it needs to do is display them. Pretty smile, but when the browser sees an image element, something very different happens. Their browser has to retrieve the image before it can be displayed in a page. The best way to understand this is to look at an example. Let's take a quick look back at the Elixir page from the head first long, which has 4 image elements. So head first long Elixir code, this, and we've got 4 images in this HTML, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then now let's take a look behind the scenes and step through how the browser retrieves and displays this page when it's required through HTTP weekly smart.com long. First, the browser retrieves the file Elixir HTML from the server. Empty browser window, nothing retrieved yet. 2. Next, the browser reads the Elixir point.html file, displays it, and sees it has 4 images to retrieve, so it needs to get each one from the web server, starting with green JPEG. The HTML page is retrieved, but the browser still needs to get the image. 3. Having just retrieved green JPEG, the browser displays it and then moves on the text next to image, light blue JPEG. 4. Now the browser has retrieved light blue JPEG, so it displays that image and then moves on the next image, blue JPEG. This process continues for each image in the page. Light blue JPEG displayed. This. How images work. Images are just images, right? Well, actually there are zillion formats for images out there in the world. All with their own strange and weaknesses, but luckily only of those formats are commonly used on the web: JPEG, PNG and GIF. The only tricky part is deciding which to use them when. So what are the differences among JPEG, PNG and GIF? Use JPEG for photos and complex graphics. Works best for continuous tone images like photographs. Can represent images with up to 60 million different colors. Is a lousy format because to reduce the file size it throws away some information about the images. Does not support transparency. Files are smaller for more efficient web pages. No support for animation. Use PNG or GIF for images with solid colors, logos and geometric shapes. PNG works best for images with a few solid colors and images with lines, like logos, clip art, and small text and examples in image. PNG can represent images with millions of different colors. PNG comes in 3 flowers, PNG 8, PNG 24, and PNG 32, depending on how many colors you need to represent. PNG compresses the file to reduce its size, but doesn't throw anything away, so it is a lossless format. Allows for colors to be set to transparent so that anything underneath the image will show through. File tend to be larger than their JPEG equivalents, but can be smaller or larger than GIF depending on the number of colors used. Like a PNG, a GIF works best for images with a few solid colors and images with lines like logos, clip art, and small text in images. GIF can represent images with up to 256 different colors. GIF is also a lossless format. GIF also supports transparency, but always allows only one color to be set to transparent. Files tend to be larger than their JPEG equivalents. Support animation. Then exercise with image format. Congratulations, you've been elected Grand Image Format Chooser of the Day. For each image below, choose the format that would be best represent it for the web, JPEG, PNG or GIF. I don't mean to be rude, but we're on the 8th page of the images chapter and you still haven't introduced me. JPEG, PNG, GIF, blah blah blah, could you get on with it? It was image. And now for the format introduced, meet the image element. We held off the introductions long enough. As you can see, there are more to delete with images than just the HTML markup. Anyway, enough of the for now. It's time to meet the image element. Let's start by taking a closer look at the element. Although you probably already picked up on most of how image works by now. Here is the image element. The image element is an inline element. It doesn't cause line breaks to be inserted before or after it. The SRC attribute specific is the location of an image file to be included in the display of the web page. You already know image is a void element, so that it, not quit. There are a couple of attributes you'll want to know about. And of course, you'll also want to know how to use the image element to reference about images on the web that aren't not on your own site. But really, you already know the basics of using the image element. Let's work through a few of the finer points of using the image element and then put all this knowledge to work. And image, it's not just relative links anymore. And we'll talk about that in the next lesson. And this is our 25th lesson over. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, please. Put likes, share with friends, comment, eat bananas, chocolate and nuts, drink more water for the effective work of our brains. Bye.